Hey y'all, it's Zaze. Today I want to show you guys the process of this painting I did a few months back. I think I did it in spring earlier this year. So I found a picture on Pinterest and I had really liked it. So I wanted to do something similar to it with like the poses and the colors, but I added a few changes, which was to make the girls into mythological creatures. And personally, I think that these girls would make nice side characters in the storyline I'm currently working on. And you know, as I sat down to paint these fairy tale girls, I guess, it just kind of made me think about, you know, how little we use our imagination now and how relaxing it can be to just daydream for a little bit, even if I'm doing something like sketching or folding laundry or something mundane. I don't know, I just feel like drawing things are like fantasy based, kind of keep my imagination alive for the most part. But on to other things. So to start this drawing, I just had sketched these girls out in a pose, and I didn't record that, unfortunately, but I later on erased the sketch slightly and then lined it in purple so that I could see it while I was painting. And then I did a yellow backwash on the whole painting, and then I mixed yellow into the colors in my color palette. So I used a color palette of pink, green, yellow, and blue, and then I mixed yellow into those three colors to kind of give it the same tone. And then I painted in skin tones, you know, flat colors for everything. And then on top of that, I painted in blush, lighting, you know, shadows, highlights, things like that. And then I went in with some liners and some colored pencils for some final details. So I used a black liner to kind of sharpen up the details and add scales to the mermaid, and then to show curls in the hair. And I finished the project by painting in the background, just some rocks and some sky. So now that it's dried a bit and I've done some liner on it, I stepped away and took a bit of a break. And yeah, it took me a few days to finish this painting. Most of my paintings do, which I honestly find really relaxing. Whenever I started painting, I just take an hour or so out of my day and just draw and paint and add more detail until I'm happy with the finished product. And usually that gives me like 2-3 days to where I'm just sitting with my thoughts and enjoying myself and doing something. Often I'll have a TV show or some music in the background. And you know, I just feel like everyone should like try painting, or maybe if you're not an artist, maybe a different hobby like crocheting or whatever that may be, just because like taking some time out of your day to sit down and practice something and do a hobby can really just help clear your mind a little bit. So it helps me when I'm feeling any kind of frustration and things like that. But I find that sometimes when I just sit down and I draw or I paint, I find that I sometimes learn something about myself based off of whatever it was I drew that day, and it just helps with overall emotional stability. But overall, I had a lot of fun doing this painting, and as I was doing it, I was trying to think of ways I could incorporate these random characters I made for a painting into my finished and polished storyline. I've been looking to design some side characters, so if anybody has any idea about what their names would be or any kind of storylines that would go along with them, let me know down below in the comment section. But the favorite of these girls that I drew here was definitely the girl with the braids. I just loved how I made her fairy wings look like they were leaves, and overall her design was just really interesting to me. I would have liked to do something more with her like clothing and things like that, but overall I think she would make a pretty good addition as a side character to the current plot line I'm working on, being a green fairy and all. But if anybody has any ideas for what her name might potentially be, or you know, what her backstory is, feel free to comment down below any suggestions. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.